Good morning. Um, Thursday, right? Happy Thursday. Um, let's see. Hi, Dora. Hi, Susan. Oh, welcome back. Glad you made it safely. It's been quite a while, huh? Um, Hi, Deb. How are you? Well, that's nice to be back. I know it's kind of like iffy time for all of this. My husband was talking to me about uh, this summer and beyond. We normally go to Chincoteague in Virginia for a week or so. Usually, well, we always we started doing it after Labor Day um, because back when my kids were young and we were homeschooling, it was always nice to go after everyone was back in school because it was very peaceful and quiet. But still, the weather was so nice most of the time. Sometimes it was, we get a stray hurricane or something like that. So he was talking about making a reservation again, and I thought, well, maybe. So I think we're going to. I don't know if we'll end up going. We'll see. It's anybody's bet what things will be like in September, but um, we'll wait and see. But yeah, it's kind of it's strange because everything's kind of up in the air, so it's hard to know what to do um, about that sort of thing. But I mean, the way I look at it, it's either it will be fine or it won't. Either way, you might as well just make your plans, see what happens. That's kind of how all of this has been, right? Um, we There's no real roadmap for how this is going to go, so um, we just have to use our heads and just kind of go with it. Um, I bought some luggage the other day, which was kind of funny because I thought, well, when am I going to use this? And then I thought, well, someday I'm going to use this. So today, it's perfect. So we'll see. Um, so I would say that with all of this stuff, um, I think, we feel uncomfortable with the uncertainty. But I think the truth is everything is uncertain, right? It always has been. Um, we were just under the illusion that we knew for sure what was going to happen. But, clearly things do change. And not just this, but things change with everybody's life sometimes. It just doesn't. Um, Although, up until now, maybe your life has been very predictable and you haven't had a lot of, you know, curveballs thrown your way. But it can always happen. So there's another quote that I'm going to ruin here. I think it's something like, if you want to make God laugh, make a plan. Um, so, but we make plans anyway, because that's what we do. Um, we may or may not get to use them. But that's actually um, not a bad yoga theme. The idea of uncertainty, um, and that kind of connects back to that idea of a beginner's mind. That when we are a beginner, we are more comfortable with uncertainty. Um, that's why kids are more flexible, mind, body, spirit, than older people are usually. Um, they're used to being under someone else's, I guess, control even, but, authority. They're used to being kind of anything could happen, right? When you're a kid, everything's a big surprise. You've never seen this stuff before. You just sort of trust. Okay, now I'm going to do this. Now mom says we're going to go here, and then we're going to do this, and um, so that isn't as unusual a feeling as it is when we get older. We've forgotten about that. We think we are the ones that are in control at all times, and in truth, it's not it at all. We have choices, and we use our intelligence and our experience to make the best choices we can. But ultimately, there's a great deal that is out of our control. So, um, yogically speaking, the idea of turning over that responsibility and that weight that we may feel like we carry, releasing that and turning that over to the universe, putting that just like we would put um, the idea that you know we aren't, if we have a big win, and I think people frequently struggle with one or both of these ideas. If they are very successful, um, they may have a hard time acknowledging that it wasn't them alone, right? It wasn't just their efforts that made whatever successful or good thing happen. Um, but um, if you look at things, from a realistic perspective and not kind of that ego, you're going to see that everything that you do in your life is a series of things that happened that got you to where you are. It isn't just something. When we succeed, we don't just do it on our own. Some people have a hard time with that, right? They don't want to share the credit. Um, but I think more people have trouble with the idea that um, we're not solely responsible for the blame either, right? So when things don't turn out, I'm thinking now, so I'm thinking about Chincoteague. So this has me thinking about how stressful it was when the kids were younger. And I felt so responsible for everybody's mood and everyone's behavior and for everyone to get along. And, you'd go down to Chincoteague and it would be like trying to, it would be just like home, except more cramped, less toys, less like things for people to do. So they were kind of, they were good for a while, and they'd start fighting, and everyone would be out of their element and a little unsettled. So I, of course, felt like, oh, this was my idea to do this. So, oh my God, I need to do everything I can to pull this off, make everybody friends, make everybody get along, do appreciate this wonderful thing I've done for you. Um, to the point where it was hard for me to enjoy what was going on a lot of the times. So, you know, you aren't, it's not all on you. Your actions are your responsibility. But again, the result of that is frequently so many other things coming into play. We have to acknowledge that and kind of leave it. Just let it be what it is. we are lifting that weight from our shoulders. And I think it's important to not get too bogged down. Um, we inflate our own importance in the overall scheme of things, um, to our detriment, right? It's not, I don't know anybody who's got like a big ego who's very happy about that. With that big ego comes also uh, a big a big sense of failure. A lot of the time, a big sense of what haven't I done, right? So, or what have I done wrong, right? What have I failed at? So let's get past all of that, um, and let's look instead at what am I working on? What am I trying to achieve? This is a lot more productive than dwelling on uh, failures, past failures, or preening on what you consider a past success. Know that our life is going to be full of wins and losses. Um, they are just kind of what happens when you're busy doing things. If you do nothing, you will never experience those things, right? So you're never going to feel bad about that, but you're also never going to feel good about that. So we want to keep it going, keep doing things, but if they don't turn out, if it turns out to be a really bad idea or dumb idea, eh, so you do something different. Um, Most of the things and the decisions that we make in our life feel so uh, life or death, so important at the time. But then when we look back at them, we often see that they really didn't, it didn't matter which choice we made. Either one was a possible outcome. So when you feel like you're kind of agonizing over a decision, which way should I go with this? Know that either choice frequently can be managed. It's not, a one or the other. There isn't, uh, life isn't, our choices are not generally pass fail, right? They are gradients, right? So don't let that stop you from doing things. Just do. If you want to make reservations to go to Chincoteague, do it. What's the worst that can happen? You have to cancel. Things don't turn out. Who knows? Um, but we can't let uncertainty in our life stop us from acting, stop us from taking some action, and know that we'll work it out one way or another. Um, that is, we were talking earlier, that last um, niyama, or is it yama? I think it's yama. Ishvara pranadhana, right? Which is turning things over to the universe, to God, to spirit. The idea that we don't have to carry it all ourselves. And it's not even that we don't have to. It's not really a good idea to, right? That's too much. You're giving yourself too much responsibility, too much weight. Um, Lighten that up. And when you do that, when you have kind of turned that over, I have found that the choice becomes clearer, right? Um, and believe me, I don't, I practice these things just like everyone else. I don't live in this constant state of like, I'm always there, right? I get bogged down with this stuff too. I do. We all do, right? This is why it's a practice. Um, but when I consciously say, okay, this is spinning out of control. I'm going like over the edge here. Let's pull this back and let's let it go. Turn it over. That's when I start to get a little more confident about what I'm going to do, because the information, the sense of what might be the right course is clearer to me. And that may be because the universe is talking to me, or it may be that the weight and the headspace that kind of responsibility takes is gone, right? So then all of a sudden things feel clearer. It doesn't really matter why it is, it just is. So that's a good practice to work on, that idea of turning over the fear and the anxiety, um, the worry, the ego, um, all of those things. Just turn that over and see what is left when that's gone. All right. What's left right now is asana. So let's move back. I'm going to move back. You're probably where you need to be already. Sitting up comfortably. Take a few breaths. Shoulders relaxed. Nice and upright with the body. One more breath, and then let's bring the chin down toward the chest. Let your head hang, and then lifting up, chin lifts toward the ceiling. Head back to center, take a breath, and lower the head over to the right. Back to center and moving left. And back up to the center. Let's walk the hands forward here. Back up, hands behind, fingertips pointing away. Squeeze the shoulders together, gaze up. Back to your seat. Let's bring the arms wide. Deep breath. Exhale, hands together. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale, hands together. Interlace the fingers, lift the hands, gaze up, and then arms down by your side. Inhale, lift, and lower, lift, and lower. Once more, lifting up, right arm by your side, reach across with the left. Switch. and then back to your seat. Tabletop. Moving through cat-cow. A little flexibility through the spine. And then back to tabletop. Let's sit back on your heels. Child's pose. Coming back up to tabletop. Let's lift the right arm high, gaze up, and then bringing that right arm under the left, setting down on the shoulder. Coming back up, lift the right arm again, and then set it down. Left arm lifts. Bring it under, resting on that left, the shoulder or maybe the upper arm. See how far you can move today. Moving back up. Lift the arm. Hands back to the mat and back in child's pose. If you usually have knees together, you could bring them apart for this one. Maybe stack the fists, rest your forehead. So if you can, maybe see if you can come down a little lower in this. Making your way back up, tabletop to downward dog. Walking it out a little. And then stepping the feet up to the hands. Be in a fold. Rising slowly, standing tall in your mountain. Breath in and breath out. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, stepping back with the right. Drop the knee, arms overhead. Hands to the mat, stepping back. Downward dog. Inhale, moving to high plank, and then lowering down. Inhale, lift, head and chest. Lower. Inhale, lift, head and chest. And lower. Last one, lifting up head and chest. Or you could move all the way up, upward dog. And then ending up back in downward dog. Deep breath in, and then on the exhale, step the right foot up. Drop your knee on the left, arms overhead, and hands down to the mat. Step the back foot up, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift arms. Back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, we're stepping back with the right. Yeah. Nope. I don't know what I was thinking. We're stepping back with the left. Drop the knee. Arms overhead. This is what happens when you get a little ahead, right? Stay right where you are. Hands down to the mat, stepping back, downward dog. Inhale, high plank, and then lower down. Inhale, lift, head and chest, and lower. Inhale, lifting, lower. And one more, either lifting up head and chest or coming all the way up, upward dog. And then moving to downward dog. One more breath. And then we're going to step up with the left foot. Right knee sets down, arms overhead. And then hands to the mat. Step the back foot up and fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift arms high. Back to mountain. Deep breath in and out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, we're going to step back with the right. Drop the knee. Arms overhead. Hands to center. Take a breath. And then we're turning from the shoulders. So you could hook the elbow onto the knee to make your turn. You could stay more upright if you want. Holding that left shoulder back. And then moving back to center. Left hand comes down by the foot. We'll lift the right arm. Breathe. And then both hands down onto the mat. We're kind of walking them out a little. So the more you walk out with the hands, the more intense this stretch is. So if you're not feeling too flexible today, just walk the hands back, right? You don't need to be too far. It just depends, right? How does it feel today? Walk your hands back. And we're extending this left leg. You might fold over if you have the room to extend. And then set your foot down. We're going to shift the hands forward, step the back foot up, and fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Back to mountain. Take a breath. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up to a flat back. On the exhale, we're stepping back with the left. Set the knee down, arms overhead. Hands to center. Breath in, moving to the right. Maybe hooking the elbow, or you could be more upright. Choice. Try to turn the shoulders. And then moving back to center. Right hand down by the foot, left arm lifts. Both hands down to the mat. Same thing here. We're Just walking out as far as we feel we've got that flexibility. It might be the same as the other side, or it could be different. Walk the hands back, extending out that right leg, and then maybe folding. And then setting the foot down, hands up by that front foot, and then we're going to step the back foot up, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Back to mountain. Deep breath in and out. And let's work on some balance. Let's step out into Warrior 3 to get started. So, got that room in front of us, hands together. Take a deep breath. And then we're stepping with the left foot, maybe just a little step, and then lifting. A little or a lot. Steady here with the breath. Trying to keep the gaze a little forward over the top of your mat instead of straight down. Just helps you with that, with the balance, right? It gives you some lift instead of focusing straight down. And you can always touch that toe in the back if you're feeling a little unsure about the balance today. And then set the foot down, coming back up to stand. Hands together, take a breath, stepping out right. Same thing, just lifting the left as you lean forward. So you may have, again, one side that's easier for you than the other. Work on the hard side. Give that one most of your attention so we can even it out. Sometimes we know why this imbalance. A lot of times it is kind of our handedness, right? And then set the foot down. Right side dominant usually means the right side is going to be stronger. That's just, how it is. We unconsciously, we're stepping out always with that right foot. We're reaching with the right hand. So we're just using this side of the body more. That's not always the case. Some people, it's the other way. Or some people are left hand dominant for writing or something, but when their actions, they're on the right. So that can be it. It could be injury. It could be a lot of different things. So whatever it is, we're just kind of working our way toward balance, if we can. It's never going to be perfectly balanced, right? Because everything in your body is uneven. Um, Most people have their feet are at least a half size different. Their legs, one leg longer than the other, quarter inch. My dad was almost an inch and a half difference between one leg and the other. Crazy, right? But he had to get special heels on his shoes to kind of even everything out. So we are perfectly made, but we are handmade, right? I like to think of that. We're not machine made, we're handmade. So there are going to be variations. Some things are a little different than the other, but that's okay. That's just what makes us unique. So let's do our foot exercises here. So lifting up, heels. So you're on the front part of the feet. You might go higher, so you have the whole foot lifted and you're kind of balancing on the ball of the foot. You can kind of move between those depending on how steady you feel. And then set the feet down. And we're going to do kind of the same thing, but lifting up the front part of the feet. And you may be able to stay still. You may do better to kind of move around a little. And set the feet back down. Rolling onto the outer edges of the feet. Protect the ankles. Make sure you're not rolling too far. You just want to feel balanced on that outer part of the foot. So expect a loud noise pretty soon. I think they're taking the dumpster out of the front of the house, which it could be a big crash. And then we're going to roll so that the big toe is pressing down and the inner part of the foot is working toward the center. You might bring the feet apart a little bit, lifting the outer part of the foot, and breathe. And bring both feet down. Bicycle out the legs. Top of the mat, arms overhead, deep breath, fold forward. Inhale, lift, flat back. Exhale, step back to downward dog. Inhale forward, high plank, and then lower down. Head turns right, arms by your side, take a few breaths. And then bringing the head back to center, we're going to bring both arms out in front. And then working on either half bow or full bow. Half bow is we're doing one side and the other. If you want to do full bow, you can just do that twice. It's up to you. Right? So we're going to bring the left hand is out in front, palm resting down on the mat. Bend the right knee, reach back with the right arm. So we might grab the foot, the ankle. If you can't reach, if you might be here, you could grab a hold of your pant leg, or just reach back, make that sort of shape. You don't have to grab the foot; it just kind of helps. It helps kind of keep you in the shape, but you can absolutely do it without touching. Press down with that left hand. We're lifting up the body, maybe lifting up the knee. See how it feels. And then release it down. And we're going to switch sides. So the right hand is extended, palm pressing down. Then the left knee, grab the foot or the ankle with the left hand. And then we're pressing down, lifting up, maybe lifting the knee a little. Breathe. And release it all the way down. Let's bring the hands out in front. We'll bring one forearm over the other. Set the head down. And then bring the hands by the side. Head turns left. And then bring your head back to center. Moving back up. Tabletop, child's pose. Back up to tabletop, then downward dog. And then step the feet up. Come down to a seat on the mat. Soles of the feet together. We're sitting up tall. Take a breath. Lean forward. And then back up. Extend the legs. Lifting. Deep breath in. Fold forward. Back up. Let's bend the knees, soles of the feet to the mat. And then we're lowering down, we're rocking back, ending up resting on the mat. Get comfortable, relax here. And then let's hug the right knee into the chest. Left leg is long. And maybe rotate the feet, the ankles. So we're moving in one direction. And then reversing. And then we're going to stop doing that and start lowering that right knee out to the side. And you can just support that with the arm or the hand. Just going as far as you feel comfortable. So that's not to say you won't experience some discomfort in the pose. You may, right? The stretching, the pressure, all of that. But when I say feeling comfortable, I mean, do you feel safe? Do you feel confident in this pose? Or are you like, oh my gosh, I think my leg is going to fall off? No, we don't want that. Just go to the place where you feel like this is fine. I can hold this. There's definitely pressure. There's stretch. But we are in no danger of anything terrible happening. And then let's bring the knee back to center. We're going to bring the hands behind the thigh and just extend. So you might be kind of straight up and down. If you have more flexibility, you might try drawing that leg closer. Just see where it is today. And bend the knee. Set the leg down. We're going to switch. So first, just hugging that leg in. Right leg is long. We can rotate the foot one way and the other. So these sort of foot rotations, ankle rotations are great to do if you do have stiff ankles, if you feel like you could use some more flexibility in the ankles. You can do them anytime, sitting at a desk or whatever. You could just rotate your feet, watching TV, make use of that downtime when you're not really doing much of anything with the body, and just add a little movement in. Then we're lowering, left knee out to the side, rest of the body stays flat on the mat. Bring that knee back to center, and we're going to bring the hands behind. Extend the leg as much as you can. And then just see where you have space today. And then bend the knee, extend it long. And let's do Starfish Pose here. So we've got the arms out to a T, the feet kind of wide to the edge of the mat, or maybe even wider than that. And breathe, just feeling very relaxed. And then we're going to move into Shavasana here. So you could stay in that Starfish Pose. If you want to come back to a more traditional pose for Shavasana with the arms by your side, it's fine. See what feels good today. One of the things I love about online yoga is everyone has that ability to do what they need to do for the day without feeling obligated to do what everyone else is doing, or without feeling nervous that someone's going to see you doing something different and, you know, I don't know, grade you or or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, we all have that urge, especially in a yoga class, to kind of, stay with the program, right? And that's ultimately not a terrible idea. Most of the time, yoga classes are designed to be pretty well rounded, and sticking with the plan isn't a bad idea unless there's something in there that is not working for you today. Then skip it. Do something different, modify. Um, do what you need for the day. That's what makes this your yoga and nobody else's. When you're ready, oops, moving a little, fingers and toes, hands and feet. And making your way up to a seat. Let's bring our hands together. Deep breath in and out. Thank you for taking time this morning for yoga and for sharing it with me and everyone else here. I hope you have a really good Thursday. Namaste. Thank you. We're going to have a regular schedule for holiday weekend. Just class every day, not on Sunday, but that's just normal. So nothing different. I hope you have something fun planned. If you're not going somewhere, I hope that you are going to do something special at home that will be fun or enjoyable. One of my friends, I don't know if she's on today, but she comes to the online yoga class, and she was telling me that all of her neighbors, that one sort of upside to all of this is that people are home more, and you see your neighbors that you might not have seen. So all of her neighbors have sort of backyards that are facing the same direction she is. So you can sort of look off your back porch and see the neighbor, over at their house and wave. And that's kind of fun, I think. The idea that, you do get to see people maybe a little more than when people are all out doing things all the time. So making, the best of every situation. That's what we do. So have a great rest of the day. You're welcome, Deb. And Susan, I hope you guys have a pleasant day and week. And if I don't see you, I don't know. I think it's going to be quite hot, but today I think is pretty nice. So today might be the day to get out and do something in the yard if you feel like it. All right. Well, I will see you tomorrow.